I believe it's deities, not deity. But that's a matter of personal preference. But no, I don't pigeonhole the gods. I don't have any particular sect or group that I believe in. I just call them the gods and believe they're out there, and that's the end of it.
Well, the problem with that view is that the gods themselves are not divine in the sense that they are the absolute and are non-dependent. The gods in classical paganism, the Greek, Roman pantheon, the Norse gods, they all are dependent entities. So you're going to be in the same boat as the skeptic and the atheist when trying to establish what the foundation and basis of reality is in order to, offer propositions about the nature of reality and the nature of events.
Right, but see, paganism isn't like Christianity. We don't have a huge overarching plan for humanity. Basically, if you're breathing, that's the plan. We don't have this huge plan of redemption in paganism.
But Von Helton, there's a concept known as universals or classes of things. So when we talk about dogs, cats, things like that, there has to be something that secures universals, right? And in classical paganism, or the various permutations of it, those gods that are actual dependencies emerge out of chaos. So you don't know if there's something securing that there are universals. So you can talk meaningfully about dogs and cats and grass being green. So believing in these junior deities, you're in the same position as the atheist. You don't know what the nature of reality is.
Your train has literally went off the tracks on that one. I have no clue what you're talking about at all. We don't have, in paganism, paganism is not like Christianity. We don't have a huge overarching plan for humanity at all. We don't.
Right. The problem is you don't know what the nature of reality is.
Well, let me explain, okay? In Christianity and Judaism and Islam to an extent, although Islam's a different animal, there is a plan for humanity. Humanity fell. The gods have to, give this plan for humanity to come back from being fallen, et cetera, in order to redeem themselves, yada, yada. Okay. Paganism doesn't have that. We don't have that at all. We have nothing like that. And we're just basically, like I said, if you're breathing, that's it. You're here. We don't have any type of plan of redemption, because from our standpoint, humanity didn't fall. We didn't fall from grace. We didn't have any problems.
Well, the problem
now we did. What we did do, and it's documented, is that we basically said, hey, gods, we're scared shitless of you. Y'all go hang out over there. We'll hang out over here, and there the twain shall meet. Now we did do that, and that's documented. And that's probably something we're gonna regret. But
what foundationally in the nature of reality secures that there can be something called humanity, where humanness will be the same as it is now as it was yesterday or tomorrow? What secures that?
I don't understand the question.
If I talk to you about cats or dogs,
right,
those are classes of things,
right,
as opposed to Fido and Fifi,
right.
But that would just be a name.
Right.
So if I tell you my dog is running in the backyard, right, I'm identifying a particular, and that it's a member of a class that right, has a set of attributes that is from a common source that sustains that. So when you start talking about gods, right, and you talk about humans or right, cats or dogs,
right,
there has to be something in the backdrop or the foundation of the nature of reality that is going to be unchanging. Because if nothing is in the backdrop that is unchanging, then you can't invoke classes of things, even though you intently believe in it. So you might say, oh, I believe in the gods, and somebody else may say, well, I just believe in animals. Well, animals is a class. What secures for an atheist that that the class of dolphin stays the same over time, or in the past or in the future. Now, I'm not talking about a member of the class like a dolphin that will change over time. I'm talking about the class of dolphin or cat or dog. What is in the background that is unchanging, that secures that classes can even exist, as opposed to what you think are classes are just simply happenstance?
Well, first of all, you're not going to convince an atheist of anything. Atheists can only be convinced by a personal interaction with the gods themselves.
Well, I'm asking you, what secures that there are classes of gods? Because gods are dependent entities. Your concept of gods, they're dependent, aren't they?
My concept of God, the gods that I believe in aren't dependent on jack shit. They don't care. They don't.
Are they eternal?
Yes.
Where'd you get that from?
You're not. Okay, see here. Okay, I think what you're doing, you're confusing. Okay, I don't necessarily ascribe to the old pantheon of gods. Okay, I don't subscribe to Rome or Greek or Norse, or now I think Norse is kind of cool, but aside from that, I don't really subscribe to that. Like I stated earlier, I don't pigeonhole my gods. I don't put them in a box. I don't give them a name. I don't give them a class or a structure.
Why do they exist?
They exist because they do. You know, some things just exist. Some things just are.
You don't know why?
I don't care to know why. It doesn't matter what I am a created being. I don't give it, it doesn't matter what I think. I'm a created being.
Either you're God, you and I are both dependent creatures. Now,
okay, but
the gods you believe in are dependent or non-dependent.
What you're trying to equate the gods I'm referring to as is demigods. Okay, and the gods I'm talking about are not demigods at all. They're not dependent on anything. They're not dependent on me or you or anyone else. They are non-corporeal light beings, energy beings, however you wish to describe it.
Where'd you get that from?
Because I saw one. Because I encountered one. And it was a huge being of light. Okay? Mm-hmm. And so, I know, and my head was down, and it took a finger and it lifted my head up, and it was just a being of pure light. And I know they exist, and it told me, it said, you have
how does your personal experience indicate that these entities are eternal?
Oh, well, before you guys continue, we got a spot open if anybody wants to come in and chat with us.
Did they talk to you?
Yeah. Told me I had a great and glorious future.
Good. What did they tell you? What did they tell you about themselves?
They didn't tell me shit about themselves.
Good, that you don't know they're eternal.
They told me you have a great and glorious.
How do you know they're eternal?
What they told me is that you have a great and glorious future that'll benefit all of mankind. And I'm pretty sure a demon would not say something like that to me.
How do you know they're eternal?
Because they're a being of pure energy and pure light. I mean, something
I'm
like
sorry, you cut out. Could you go back 2 sentences?
And energy is never destroyed, okay? Energy is never destroyed. These were beings of pure energy. They're never destroyed.
How do you know that? How do you know energy can't be destroyed?
Because it's been established via science, dude.
No, science, that would be inductive reasoning. Science can only sample a very small portion of the whole. Let me explain something to you. Okay, when it comes to the first and second law of thermodynamics, right? You're claiming these laws are universal. Where did you get the idea that these concepts are universal?
That's what we were taught.
Okay, so what? So where'd they get that from? When they say that the first law of thermodynamics states that matter and energy cannot be created or destroyed. What that means is that there is no known natural or man-made means by which we can bring into existence or out of existence energy. But that doesn't mean that in the absoluteness of reality, energy cannot be created or destroyed. It just means we don't know of any means.
Well, I mean, if we're going to go that route, we don't know a damn thing, do we? We don't know whether Christianity has got any truth to it.
Do you know that?
Wait a minute, Dawkins. I'm going to take you to your logical conclusion. If by going by what you just said, nobody has the answer. Nobody.
That's not the position I hold.
No, Dawkins, in order for you or me or Brett or anybody in this outside chat to know everything, we ourselves would have to be a deity, correct? Of course.
No.
Okay.
I can know. Can I know some things?
No, Darwin.
I didn't even get my question out.
There is no way, Darwin, you could know everything unless you're a deity. No way. There's no way.
Okay. Okay. Now, I'm not going to dispute that point. Can I be the recipient of an omniscient, omnipotent God who is always truth revealing? Can I finish my question?
All right. Go ahead.
Can I be the recipient of an omnipotent, omniscient, always truth-revealing creator where he has a sovereign plan, where he has made us to know some things that we can't be wrong about? Is that possible?
Anything's possible, Darwin, but to sit there
but you just said it was impossible.
Well, now wait a minute. You're saying that you are the fount of all knowledge, or that a god, a deity of some kind, has imbued you with all knowledge. No, it's impossible, because if you were imbued with all knowledge, you yourself would then be a deity.
Vaughn, you just contradicted yourself.
You're clearly not a deity, sir. So, I'm sorry.
You're not listening. You're talking past me. You're not listening to me. You just contradicted yourself.
I was very clear about what I said. I said I was taking what you said to its logical conclusion, which is exactly what I did. You are trying to intimate that by saying what you said, it would give you the fount of all knowledge. Well, if you had the fount of all knowledge, then you yourself
you're misrepresenting what I said.
The only way you could know all things is if you are a deity. Period.
I didn't say that I knew all things.
No, you didn't, but you implied it.
Listen, are we going to have a conversation, or are you just going to lecture me?
Well, go ahead. Go ahead and say what you want to say. I don't care. It don't matter to me. You're still wrong.
I asked you. Okay. Well, if I'm wrong, in order to determine that something is wrong, don't you have to know that the position that I'm taking stands in contradiction that something is true?
I know that you can't sit there and claim to be the fount of all knowledge.
No, that's not an answer to my question. In order for you to know that what I just said is wrong, don't you have to know that another position is true that contradicts my position?
I'm going to tell you what I know, and the answer is I don't know jack shit, because I'm a created being. You didn't
answer my question. You're not addressing.
I am answering your question. I don't know jack shit.
You're answering it, but you're not.
Neither does Brett. Neither does anybody in the chat.
Then if you don't know either. You don't know
either. Did you know that?
Are we going to have a conversation? Are you going to have a conversation? Or are you going to have a screaming fest?
I'm answering your question.
I'm trying to have a conversation with you, and you're being rude.
I'm not being rude at all. I'm trying to answer you.
Yes, you are.
I'm trying to answer.
You keep on over talking me.
Oh, well, okay. Well, excuse me. I'll mute myself,
and you can say whatever. Guys, breathe, relax. Life is good. All right.
If you don't know anything, how do you know I'm wrong?
Are you done?
That was a question.
Okay. How do I know? Listen to me. I'm going to say this again. I tried to say it before, and you wouldn't let me, so I'm going to say it again. You don't know everything. I don't know everything. Brett doesn't know everything. These people in the outside chat don't know everything. And because of that, we cannot possibly know what the gods have in store. We are guessing. We're taking documents that were written thousands and thousands of years ago, and we're trying our best to understand it. And that's fine. But we can't sit there and say we definitively know anything when we clearly do not. We are taking what was written, and we're trying to interpret it, trying to translate it, trying to decipher it. And it's true of anything. It's true whether it's the Emerald Tablets of Thoth or the Dead Sea Scrolls.
Helton, you're just lecturing me now.
But
you're just lecturing. You're not answering my question.
I'm getting to it. But we cannot sit there and.
No, I don't want to be lectured to. I want my question answered.
I'm trying to, but you won't let me. You keep interrupting.
No, I've been silent here while you monologue.
Okay, well, fine. I'll stop talking and then you can go.
Well, I literally can't hear what he's saying on this question. I can hear you, Von Helton, but I can't
cut
hear
you
Duncan.
off. I only interjected.
I can hear him on the stream.
You just monologuing and not addressing my question. Now, you said I was wrong about something. Now, in order for you to know that I'm wrong about something, you have to know that something is true that contradicts my position. Do you know something that is true where you can't be wrong?
1 second, guest. I can hear Duncan Dawkins just fine. I can also hear him in the stream. I don't know what's wrong with your equipment, but he's coming through clear. So what do you think, Vaughn, about his question that he asked?
I think it's a load of horse shit.
No, okay. So the question asking is, do you know something that's true that you can't be wrong about?
You're trying to box me in, Dawkins, and I'm not going to play. Sorry, I'm not going to play.
So in other words,
it's a setup. It is a clear setup, and I'm not going to play. Sorry, I'm not going to play.
Well, if you're going to accuse me of being wrong,
I'm going to accuse you of being wrong because you're sitting there trying to claim yourself as the fount of all knowledge, which I know.
I didn't claim that.
Everybody in that chat room right there knows that there's no way any of us have all knowledge.
I didn't make such a claim. Why are you putting words?
We just don't. We don't have it. Sorry.
The problem is you're a poor listener, Von Helton.
Well, I'm a poor listener.
Add your words.
Nobody in this room and nobody in the chat has all knowledge.
Yeah,
no way.
You see the problem.
Because if you had all knowledge, you would then be a deity.
Yeah. Listen. Okay. When did I claim that I was the font of all knowledge? I never made such a claim. You impugned that to me, but I didn't. Now, you said I was wrong about something.
You said that.
If you tell me. Okay, listen.
My gods did not exist, that they were not real, that they were demigods and all this other bullshit.
Did you hear me say that? Did you hear me say that?
Actually, I did.
No, I didn't say it.
If you remember, I confronted you on it.
I didn't say it.
And I said that you were claiming my gods were demigods. I confronted you on that, Dawkins.
No, sir. I never said to you. I never said to you this whole time on the broadcast.
This is being recorded. Maybe we play it back.
I'm sure. Absolutely. I have no problem with that.
But anyways, the point is
well, hold on a second. Listen, you can't even remember the conversation.
Hey,
dude, you keep on over-talking me. I'm going to confront you right now. You're being obnoxious and rude, okay? And you're bulldozing and talking over me. Let's have a conversation, okay?
All right, fine. I'll shut up and I'll mute myself, and
I did not
just
say
do whatever the fuck you want. Because
I didn't say to you, and you see, you're doing it again.
You don't like it.
See, you can't have a conversation with you.
I called you on your bluff, and you don't like it. That's what this is all about.
Okay, now what you're doing is you're being argumentative, and you don't want to have a conversation because you can't handle the question. Now, you told me I was wrong about something. If you know that I'm wrong about something, that presupposes that you know that something is true, that you can't be wrong. What do you know that's true?
Logic.
What do you know that's true that contradicts my position?
Nobody in this room or in that outside chat knows all things. There's no fucking way. Okay, I'm sorry, but there's no fucking way. Nobody in this room or in that chat is going to know all things.
You still didn't answer my question.
That's basically what you said earlier. You said there's no way that my gods can be real because you knew
did not say
for a fact that they were not. Okay, that's bullshit. There's no way that you could not know whether my gods were real or not, any more than I can know whether your God is real or not. So can it?
Okay, first of all, you have a very faulty memory. I never once said your gods don't exist. Now, my position is, I'll tell you what my position is right now, that the God of the Bible is the only God. But I didn't, earlier in the conversation, I didn't say one word about whether your gods did or did not exist. I said, how do you know that they are there? I asked you a question. And you see, what you're demonstrating right now is you're getting hot under the collar, and you can't even remember the conversation.
What I remember is that you were intimating that my gods did not exist or that they were demigods. And the reason I know this is because, and the reason, now there you go interrupting me. And the reason I know is because I challenged you on it that very second, saying now you're equating my gods as being demigods. I challenged you on it openly and called your bluff on it because my gods are not demigods. They are not constrained to your fucking opinion. Okay, they're not. Sorry, but they're not. They don't give a fuck about your opinion. They don't even give a fuck about my opinion. And they actually like me. But they don't give a fuck about your opinion, my opinion, or the opinions of the people in that chat. But do they exist? Fuck yes, they do. I know they do because I encountered one of them personally. Okay? This is not some pie in the sky bullshit theory. Okay? This is something that I have experienced to my face. Literally to my face. They literally pulled my chin up so that I can look them right in the eye.
You've already told me that.
Shut up. No, shut up. Shut up.
Is this the Von Helton show?
Because you're being blasphemous. You're being blasphemous.
Is this the Von Helton show?
No, sorry, you're being blasphemous. All right, you're being blasphemous.
I thought this was the Brett King show.
No, what I think is that I think you're full of shit, and I think you need to get your mouth off of my gods. That's what I think.
Yeah, you're a very poor listener. And not only are you reacting emotionally, you're reacting to things that I did not say. I asked you, are your gods dependent or not dependent? I never once said to you or asserted to you or intimated that your gods don't exist. I simply asked you what the nature of your gods were, and now you're reacting to what your imagination, not to what I said. You don't listen. That's the problem, Von Helton. Maybe if you develop some listening skills and develop some critical thinking skills, you wouldn't look so foolish. Now, I asked you a question. How do you know about the nature of these gods? I said, did they tell you that they were eternal? And you said no. So how do you know they were eternal if they didn't tell you?
Something that is powerful enough to come through a fucking ceiling and suddenly appear in front of me has got to be pretty goddamn powerful.
How does that mean they're eternal?
I don't give a fuck whether they're eternal.
You told me they were.
I don't give a fuck about your opinion, Dawkins. I don't give a fuck.
I didn't give you my opinion. I asked you a question.
What I know, Dawkins, is that I had a personal experience that nobody can ever take away from me. Not these trolls in the chat.
Yeah, you told me that 3 times.
Not anybody else. Nobody can ever take that personal experience away from me. And it has
the 4th time you told us.
Forever.
All right, guys. Vaughn, I see you getting very worked up and excited, and I understand you feel offended in some kind of way. I was going to allow Darth Dawkins and a person that had just come in the room a little while ago to have a discussion on this topic. Looks like he might have took off, though. Is that guy still there?
He looks like he's gone.
All right. Well, I mean, if you guys want to continue the conversation, that's fine.
Well, that's up to Vaughn, but he's got to calm down.
All right. Vaughn, if the conversation is bothering you or angering you in some way, feel free to just say, look, I don't want to deal with this specific subject. I'd rather pass. It looks like we got somebody new in the room. Let me do the hide thing real quick. Let's see. It looks like I accidentally opened up a browser. Oh, there we go.